Oh, good morning, guys. You scared me. Was just looking at Bitcoin, noticing it dropped a little bit. Nessie saw an opportunity to take some profit. You see this line here, rejected? You could have got out if you were in this trade right here. You could have bought here and got out, and now people are fighting the the fallen knife. So, anywho, how's everybody doing? Yeah, that's good. Well, I can tell you, the market is not really pretty right now. You know, nothing too exciting this week so far. We've actually just been going sideways. Nothing too exciting. I see a little bit of run up this morning. Volume's pretty low. It's Wednesday. Wednesdays are like my least favorite trading days. And real quick, and then we'll get into the TAs. Folks, remember that these rich people do not care about us peasants. These rich people care about creating a trap for them to make more money, right? And the best way to do that, real smart way at least, and for the options, is they crack they increase the contracts of the price, right? So let's just say we see a price that needs to go down, right? A ticker needs to go down. Well, they'll keep moving that price up, right? Which confuses buyers and sellers, just so they can get a cheaper contract when they sell it. So don't fall for the tricks. Wait for the entries to present themselves. Okay? Very important. Wait for the entries. Don't follow the entries. Wait for them. So that's where I see a lot of people making mistakes, including myself. Right? I followed, Facebook. We'll take a look at Facebook real quick. And, now it wants to go up, right? But I got burned a couple times on this trade. And it wasn't necessarily something I did wrong, right? And that's something that you have to also keep note of. Like if you're following the algorithms that we have here, right? And they do present a buying opportunity. And that buying opportunity does go up, but then it rejects, right? Because it's in a downtrend, okay, which we see right through here. Don't beat yourself up, right? Because the probability to go up is still high. We just won't take as much profit next time, right? So there were entries that I circled, ignore that one. Entries that we saw of rejections, right? And then we got into these lower deviations, and that's where we wanted to actually take a play in, right? So we did this a couple times last week. I got in Facebook. It went up a little bit. It dropped, and then it went back down, right? So we played it yesterday. We got into it, and I sold a little early, okay? Thinking that maybe it was going to reject in the same spot again. And it's possible that it could, right? But the thing is they're like taking so long for these prices to go up that our premium is still staying at that price it was, right? So let's just say, for instance, it has you bought it 10 cents, right, per contract, and it ran up to like 20 cents, okay, which is really good, and a lot of us should be taking profit. But we see that there's a more upside than there is downside, so we hold on to it. Well, it slowly goes back down a little bit, then it goes back up, right? And our premium's like maybe 18 cents. We're not really concerned about that. Then it keeps going up, right? Now we're like $4 or $5 up, and our premium's like at 20 cents again. You see what I'm saying? Like, so we really got to catch the breakouts and get out as quick as possible when we're in these kind of markets. And it's just really important to still play the rules of the algorithms, but don't get trapped with the theta decay and whatnot. Okay, so let's go back to SPY. So SPY is right back in this trend again, right? We fell out of the trend channel. Okay, they had a run up, and then we're back into this trend. But I just want to turn the music down. So what's really important, right? I drew these lines off a projected direction that the bands that I think are going to go. Okay, but what if my lines are incorrect? Well, the good news is I still have the bands that I can look at that are correct, right? So if we look here, we see that it bounced at that arrow, right, on the lower deviation, which it's done previous times. And then it climbed up, broke out, and hit a bigger resistance, right, at this $41 range. And it slowly started dropping back down. Now, if we pay attention, the bounces are also happening on these smaller bands that we're seeing, okay, and the rejections. So it's not necessarily following my line, right? It's more like my line is in confluence with the direction. But we still need to pay attention to what the bands are doing and not our straight lines. Okay? That's just really important. For the most part, I use the straight line as a maybe a cross, right? Just to see if there's a bigger move that's going to happen. And today would be that day, right? So we're in that cross. So let's see if something bigger happens. But technically, right now, we are, real sideways, and had a little pump up this morning, and we'll see if they want to retest again. If they do, it's going to be lower than this previous one, right? Unless we can break above it, and then we're maybe out of this bear range, right? But for now, we're still in the bear range with SPY, and we can look on a lower time frame and still see that we got room to go down, right? We still have this 390, 380 lingering. Okay, so they could keep pushing this down. Obviously, it's not going to fall if it's in these green zones, right? So, possibly what could happen too is, we could come down through here, right, and it'll just play and then maybe bounce up. So this is another scenario that could happen as well if we do go bearish today. So that's just really important to pay attention to. Let's take a look at the 24-hour, see if we're on track to. Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of resistance through here. That cross is going to happen. So we got resistance at the 430 or 439 right now. Now, like I said previously before in another video, that over 430 is a stronger support, which we're right. We haven't broke that 430 yet. We've gotten really close, but we haven't cracked down on it. We've been hitting around like 432 range. And I was telling the guys in voice chat, in Royal's voice chat, and the guys join the group. They have fantastic alerts. And then in the voice chat, voice chat, you can hear yours truly talk about stuff he doesn't know about. But when we get into these lower, in the resistance, right? Because we rejected from this deviation. Okay, what direction can we go now? Well, the probability is either sideways or down, right? So we like to keep looking at different time frames to see if there's any opportunities for any short time buys that might present itself that stop us from shorting too soon. Okay, our shorting was actually up here at 454, okay, in the red bands, which makes sense. But once you get into these green on the lower bands, right, which is a higher probability of the bounce, but we're still in the red channel, right, on this bigger variance. So we're still in a high probability of the sell. So it's a 50-50, right? And that's what I mean by don't do long-term holds, buys or sells. And this chart clearly shows this 50-53 here, right? The mean reversion, us reverting back to the average price, whatever this line's saying at this point, right, which is 431. So if we break it, we see levels here at that 400, another level here at the 380. If we get above it, we see a level here at 463. Okay, so I look at both sides, and right now it's a coin toss. So I need a better entry if I'm going to make a decision, right? So either we break a below this at a certain level, and then I'll play it, or we hold above it stronger, and then I'll play it. What's cool though is we can go to our Nessie, right? And I'm almost done here. So we can go to our Nessie, and we can see if we're bullish right now. And you can see that line rendered a buy, and the line's very reactive. It's very, very smart. So what I would look at is these previous resistance levels. So we have a resistance level on this line at 434.91. Okay, so it's important to pay attention to that 430. What I say, 434.91. So that's what we're watching today. 434 19, 413, well, 434.20. So you got a 20 cents difference, right? Or no, not 20 cents. 70 cents difference, right? So you could use that 70 cents as a stop loss, right? So if we get above if we hold above 34.19, right? Say you wanted to buy this, buy calls this morning, you would use 34.19 as your stop loss, and then what did I say the other one? 34.91, right, as that resistance. So you get above that, you're good to go. That's kind of how I see a play for SPY. Any questions? Great. So Tesla bounced up. Tesla's another one that screwed me. I was actually going against on the sell side on this one, and it burned me pretty good. But it's not that I was necessarily wrong, right? Because it did drop, actually. It did drop. I just did not get out of my entry fast enough. Okay, so right now we're holding above a critical support here at 809. We can probably say 810. And we got 812, another one. So we got a little bit of resistance in this area. I still think, I was talking about the 824 zone. I still think that's where we're moving towards. We might see that today if we can get a little bit of push from the buyers before maybe a sell. I know everybody's talking about the 900s again, and it's always possible, right? Because it's Tesla. But let's just see what happens through here first, and then we make that next level of decision, right? Next level of decision would be an 860 zone. So if we can get over 420, the 420 zone, then the 860 zone would be next, right? So something to take a look at with Tesla. Currently, let's see where we're going to be bearish if we do break some pivotal lines. I would actually just say this 800 has been a pretty known support. So if we break 800, then we can go back down to the 700 range, 763 if we're really bearish today. If we're bullish, like I said, that 820 is what I'd be looking for. 824 over that, 860 for Tesla. Let's see. I don't want to look at Facebook. There was AMC. Someone brought that up to my attention. And we're bearish, right? Or we're bullish right now, right? The lines are both saying it's a buy. And a little more noise on this lower time frame. And if you look, if I zoom in here, right, and this is why I use the Nessie on two different time frames. So this is on a 10-minute, this is on a 2-minute. Okay, obviously there's going to be more noise, more volatile stuff going on, but I can still use those steps as little supports and resistance lines, right? Which is great when you're in this level of the entry. You can look at these previous levels, and once you get through one, then you go to your next and your next, etc. The overall, though, for the 10-minute is this support right here at 36.24. All right, so breaking 36.24, that would cause a bigger move for AMC to go down. And we are technically, we're bullish on a shorter time frame, but like I said, I'm still looking for either if we break this 36, going back down a lot lower. I even said $25 is an entry I would like to get into. If AMC drops, but hey, we still got to wait for our entries to happen and not just assume, right? So I see another level here at 28. AMC is definitely squeezing today, so you guys should definitely be paying attention to it. I would say over this $38 range, then we might see the test at 41. We get above that, we go up to 52. Okay, I'm still not super bullish on AMC like this short term, just because there was a rejection at that 38, and it looks like it may try to retest this 36. And we could even say if it broke 36.67 on Nessie, then we're going to retest that 36, and then we'll see what happens after. Now, to be bullish, we just need to get over 37 and hold that, and then maybe a retest 38. But you can see the pattern, guys. We've been in a range with AMC, so it hasn't been any real significance that's been happening with it. Hopefully that makes sense. But if you use the bigger chart here, you can see all this extra noise, this info from this part here where it rejected, right? If you see my cursor, and if we were to draw a trend line or something, right, and move that down, you can see how it's moving on both charts, right? Pay attention. Both charts, right? And it's showing those opportunities of a sell on a lower time frame if you didn't see that kind of opportunity on a high time frame. That's why I like to use the low time frame, right? And I see price rejecting, that's what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for the overall health of the stock as well. And that's where we're looking at this 36.24, that range, whatever. Okay. That is going to conclude at least the stock side. If there's any other stocks that you want to look at, oh, you know what? Let's look at Netflix real quick. I just want to take a look. So we got a buy right here at 624, a sell on a higher time frame. Now, if it's been selling for a while, you should start taking notice. It might not bounce immediate, right? Stocks don't do that. That's weird. That would be really strange. If a stock went like this, let me change the color here. If the stock went like this, that would be weird, right? No, they usually go like this, and then they consolidate a little bit, a little upsy-dupsy here, and then they go up, right, or down. So it's important to watch those patterns, or not, I wouldn't say patterns per se, but the observance of waiting for your entry if it is hitting a level to buy, okay? So this level right here, we're waiting for 624 to hold a little stronger, and if it does, then we'll get into those entries. But on this higher time frame, and just gonna have some markings on it. Oh well. But on this higher time frame, we see that we've been selling in this from 645. We're getting into a cross with these with Netflix. We have a bigger zone through here. Let's see if we can go on a 2-minute and see if we're in the green somewhere. So no, it looks like it's trying to crack back down to 600 this morning, right? So we'll see what happens. If it might retest 628 and then try again for 637, but that's these previous levels that we've been into. So we'll just have to see what the market wants to do. But if it wants to push it down, my entry here would be about 600 again with Tesla. Now, if it breaks this 606 level, then you can look down here at the lower 588 for Tesla. I've already have this mapped out for you guys. Or not Tesla, Netflix. So let's look at some Bitcoin stuff real quick. Like I was talking about in the beginning, we rejected that 57 many times, right? And when you see multiple rejections like that, that's an outlier that it's probably going to drop, okay? And it's the same with the support. If the support's holding and it keeps bouncing back and forth, it's probably going to hold. So those are little things I look at in the longer term for some of these stocks. And right now, it's testing. Bitcoin's testing in that 54,000 zone. If we break that, we do still have a little bit of selling pressure going on. 52,000 would be next, and then maybe back to the mean is at 47,000, 48,000. Which again, it's not like unhealthy. I mean, it sucks that people, of course, people want to see it go up, and maybe someone losing money on a short term basis, but that doesn't mean that this, Bitcoin's dead or anything, right? If we get into these lower zones, into the 40,000, then I would get a little concerned. But if we bounce off the mean here, like we did at this previous area at 45,000, this is higher now at 47,000. So that's still healthy in my opinion, long term. But yeah, there is a little bit of a fight going on through here. But if it does break, at least you guys know the levels now. Let's see if we have a bullish spot for it. So you can see it could be one of those fallen knife situations. If it breaks below 53,000, then we could see 52 back to the 47,000. All right, and if we get above, let's just say 55,765, then we can start looking at those higher levels up here at 60,000, right? And of course, I want to give you guys good news, but I also have to just make sure I'm paying attention to what the algorithms are saying and not what I'm saying. So there is some resistance through here, what we talked about, maybe a little correction, and then try to pull up for these new highs. We got 64, and if we break 64,000, then maybe we go all the way up to 80,000, right? Because that would be the next levels that the price maybe wants to go. All right. So let's see. Someone was talking about link. Okay, so we got link here. Now you might find that some of these don't have the other variance algos that we're noticing. It's because this is a newer stock, so it can't read all that data out. So you just go to a lower time frame, and then you can see that data presented for itself. Again, it's kind of thrown in a sell as well. It looks like it might test some VWAPs. A resistance here is at 25. Let's see if we have a bull move at all. Yeah, so I would say over this 24, you say 25. We have another resistance at 25.5 and another one at 26. So that puts us about, right about there. If they want to move it up, right, if they do go past it, 26 would be my take profit. And then they might retest the 25, 24 level. Or it keeps dropping and we go down to 22. So that's kind of what I see. I see a 23 level that was a bounce here, but let's see what happens. And if it does go lower, 22 would be another entry that you could possibly look at. All right, guys. We're halfway through this week. We keep learning. We keep grinding so we can build that valuable time that we want. To spend more time with our families or our hobbies or our brands. We have to keep working at it, and we'll be there. So keep your heads up, be nice to people, open doors, yada yada. And I'll see you guys on Friday. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.